Hello, this card is another project with the celebrating the men in our lives, and it uses the well-suited dies and the well-suited stamp set. Now, I have heard that some people feel intimidated by the dies, so I just want to show you these are the dies, and yes, they can be overwhelming if you look at them right here in the stamped case. So this is the card. And there's a tie with a knot. There's a bow tie with a knot. There's a pocket. And then there's some stamping. So let's look at the dies. Here's the die for the tie. Here's the die for the knot. And there's two sizes of bow ties. There's this one, which we're not going to use. And we're using this one. And on the card, I had used this one. And this is the knot for the bow tie. And it's supposed to go on it this way. Okay, so that's what we're using. And this is the die for the pocket. Now, there is a die for this as well. It's the stitched rectangle die, and I don't have it here, but all of these will be die cut for you in your kit. But I just wanted to show you what the dies look like. Now, I have die cut all these pieces for class, so let's get going. Now, I have used this particular pattern in the designer paper pack. We've used also some other patterns as well. These are the patterns in the designer paper pack. And, whoops, there's a cover for the Stampin' Dimensionals. You find them all over the house. So we're using this one. A small piece of this, a small piece of this. And this is our background. And I think that's it. So 1, 2, 3 different patterns. Oh, 4. Okay, and this one. Okay, so let's get started. I have got all of my selections here, and we'll leave this up here. Now I have my silicone pad, which I like to work on. We're doing some gluing. Now, part of this card is an envelope as well, and we're going to stamp along the bottom front. If you want, you can stamp it on the envelope flap as well. So here we have, I'll put that aside, there's the envelope. This is the strip for the sentiment. We'll put that there. And then we have the die cuts. I've done all the die cutting, and as I mentioned, all of the elements for this card, the die cutting will be done for you. The only thing you need to provide is the adhesives. Now we have the card base, which is Night of Navy. We have a Whisper White layer. And then we have this front piece, the art piece, which is die cut with the stitched rectangle die. And the dimensions of this are put in the PDF that is with your kit in case you don't have, if you want to make this card in the future, if you don't have the stitched rectangle die. So what I like, and there's also another piece of Whisper White, or actually it's now called Basic White, and that goes on the inside. Now before I put all of these elements of the card together, I'm just going to put that aside. And we'll do the stamping in a little while, but let's work on putting the elements of your card together. Okay, so the tie is going to lay here. And this, let's put this on the top of the tie. Now I am using black, the black dimensionals. And that's because the colors are dark, and if you Look on the side. You don't see that there. See there the little dimensionals? So if you look at it at the side, you can't see that I've used Stampin' dimensionals. This is great for projects which are either black or Night of Navy. There. See, then if you look on the side, you can't see that it's a dimensional. Okay, so I'm not going to adhere anything yet. I just want to place them. And again, I'm put some black dimensionals on the back here as well, but I just want to lay it down first. And I'm going to put the little knot on it. And now, okay, I have to correct what I told you, is that the little knot goes up and down. It's with the other bow tie that it goes this way. Okay, now I've got some dimensionals on the back of this as well. I've got 2. If you want to put 1 on, that's fine. Sometimes I like to put on a bit more than is necessary. Okay, we'll just add that. And there's our little bow tie. Isn't that cute? Okay, so we can lay it there. And then the pocket goes here. And then the stamping goes across the bottom. I have to be careful, I'm going out of camera here. Okay, so let's adhere these in place. Okay, and I'm just going to add a little bit of Tombow to the back of that. Oh, just there. I always like to test because sometimes the Tombow comes out in big clumps, and then you've got a lot of adhesive on your hands. Okay. Just wipe that out of the way. I usually have a little rag here. Oh, here I have it. It's always a good idea to have a little rag on hand, especially when you're working with liquid glue. Okay, this one I've got the black dimensionals. If you don't have any black ones, you can use the white ones. I just like using the black ones when we're working with projects that are darker in color. There, and we'll put that about here. And then I'll use some Tombow to adhere the pocket. There. Now we'll let that dry, and then we can do some stamping. Okay, now I'm moving this away, and I'm going to, this white on white, I don't know, will you be able to see that? Okay, so it's, okay, it is You Are the Best, and it's from the stamp set. Now I'm going to stamp it in Night of Navy. If you don't have Night of Navy, you can use basic black or the black memento. I'll just give it a test. Yep, that's good. Okay. Now I have to move it down a wee bit. I hope I got it there. Well, it's a little bit. I'll just turn it over. I do have to move it down a little bit so that, yeah, okay, I'm still in camera. There. It's a little bit crooked, but it's not bad. See, I can't quite get my head over it because the camera's in the way. All right, now while I've got my ink out, why don't I just do the stamping on the envelope? And I think, actually, I'm going to stamp on the flap. I know on my sample, it's on the bottom of the front. And because I've used the small bow tie, I'm also using the small bow tie stamp. And we'll use Night of Navy. And I'm going to start in the middle. and then stamp on each side. And if it's not quite lined up, that's fine too. So there's our envelope ready to go. Okay, I'll just move that out of the way, close my stamp piece up. I tend to put my fingers in or drop my papers right in, or your almost finished project, right in the ink. Okay, let's get the rest of the card. And, okay, we now have basic white. And I like to open up my card. That way I can see all of the front of the card. Okay, and then I'll put this in the middle. And the sentiment, I'll just put it right here. Line it up with the edge. Now, this one is actually a little bit smaller, and if you like, you can take your scissors and trim it. There, I think that looks a little better. We give you a bigger piece. It's a lot easier to stamp on a bigger piece than it is on a small piece. There, we'll just put that there. Okay, now underneath that, I have used the baker's twine, which is part of the set, and I've made a little bow. And I'm just going to add it with a piece of, with the glue dot. And I have some glue dots here from a past paper pumpkin kit. And I'll use my pick tool. And I'm going to put the bow right about here. Okay, right there. And these little glue dots have a little cover on them, and you just remove the cover. And that exposes the glue dot. And now my little bow, which got a little crumpled up here. There we go. Just add it right there. And we'll trim the ends. And I do have, here's my scissors just for ribbon. Because as you know, scissors get dull if you cut paper with them. So it's a good idea to have a pair of scissors just for ribbons and material. There. Now, one more thing is that there's a little rhinestone on the bow, on the tie. And I have some rhinestones here somewhere. Well, it's here somewhere. Anyway, and I wanted to show you another card. Oh, I have to put the inside in. But I wanted to show you another card that I made with similar elements of the stamp set and the die, and it's this one. And so I've done 3 little bows in a row on a die cut. And this is the strap with the little end of the strap here, top and bottom. And that uses a different pattern of the designer paper as well. So these are just an idea for using the different dies and the different pattern paper. Okay, now let's just put this on the inside of the card, and I'm sure that I will find the rhinestone in a minute. I have a little friend. I have a little black pussycat named Inky who is at my feet wanting. I hope he doesn't jump up on the table. Okay. That on the inside, and the card is done. So there's the card and the envelope and the sample card and the other envelope. And this is another project for the class to go celebrating men. And there you go. Have fun making this card, and stay tuned for another project using more of the dies. Thank you for watching.